everybody, another night, another movie, and I just got done watching 1986's Ferris Bueller's Day Off, starring Matthew Broderick, Alan Ruck, Mia Sara and Jeffrey Jones. This one I've seen a couple of times before, but never really thought much of it. I only watched it originally because friends at the time swore blind that this movie was amazing, and I remember the first time I watched it I was like, thankfully this time I watched, I enjoyed a lot more. But for those who don't know, it tells a tale. Well, I mean, let's face it, the description is in the title. Ferris Bueller is this wisecracking, popular kid at school, and he decides to take the day off, much to the chagrin of his head teacher, played by Jeffrey Jones, who's aware that Bueller has taken like 9 days off in the semester. But Bueller, he gets his girlfriend out of school, and he gets his best friend, Cameron, played by Alan Ruck, out. And the idea is to make them enjoy the time, the whole message of the movie really essentially is to not let everything pass you by and try and experience it all, in the short life that we have, basically. And they managed to cram everything in this one day. I mean, they go to a baseball game, they go to a restaurant, Bueller ends up on a float that's going down the street, in this parade. It was one of the things that kind of got to me, and, I can nitpick over. I was like, how the hell are they getting all this stuff in, like, the space of a school day? I don't know American school times. They're probably very different to the ones they are here in the UK. And I mean, at the end you see that he's rushing to get home before 6 o'clock when his parents get home. But I was like, how the hell? I mean, especially there's no way they could have seen the whole baseball game and done everything else in the time that they did. It was just one of those nitpicks that got to me. But of course, the main thing that this movie is known for, I think, is of course the Oh Yeah song by Yellow, and of course the Ferrari scene. When they steal Cameron's dad's beloved Ferrari, and then they return it, and due to accident it goes shooting through the window. And it's a classic scene, and seeing Cameron, who's a very reserved, just lets everything be done to him, lets himself get pushed over. The whole plan on, with the idea that they're graduating in the summer and that, the Ferris's whole plan is that, he makes Cameron come to terms with this and try and stand up for himself and that. And you have a sense that, Cameron then has this ideal that, it's like he snaps. It's like, yes, I'm going to tell my dad where to go, we're going to talk, I'm going to stand up for myself. And I never felt like there was any closure for him. I mean, I get the idea is that they've shown that he's made that decision, that life decision, and acknowledging the fact that he's going to miss his friends and everything. But I just felt like there could have been more closure for him, seeing what happened. I mean, I seriously felt like his father, the image we'd been given is his father would essentially kill him for what happened to that beloved car. So I did worry a bit for Cameron's life. Now, I've heard, I don't know how correct this is because I haven't seen the movie, there's a movie called Kicking It Old School or something, and it's revealed that Cameron had to pay to get pay for the Ferrari, pay it off, kind of thing. Now I don't know how true that's correct, because I know Alan Ruck is in that movie, and I think it gets referenced because I think his character is Dr. Fry. So I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I've been led to believe. But I just, in this movie certainly, I just didn't feel there was any closure for that character, as I said. I don't really feel any chemistry between Mia Sara and Matthew Broderick. You know, I mean, they're high school loves, essentially. And it's all like, yeah, you're going to marry me, and this, that, and the other. I didn't really feel any chemistry between them. And I didn't really like Sloane's character anyway. I just didn't see the point of her. I feel bad for Jennifer Grey, who was playing Ferris's long-suffering sister, who ends up being the one taking all the slack for his goofing off. And I didn't really get why she stood up for him at the end. I mean, I get it in a way, but at the same time... But you know what, for all this complaining, nitpicking, it's one of those ones that I'm just like... whatever. I still actually enjoy this movie, and like I say, it's a nice message it's get across, and it's brilliantly written and directed by, of course, John Hughes, who did so many classic movies back in the 80s and that, especially these kind of brat pack, teen angst kind of movies, like 16 Candles and stuff like that. So... It's classic in its little bubble. It's very much of its time. I don't know what the headmaster's issue is, seriously. But I did enjoy that character. But yeah, it's not one of those movies that personally I laugh out loud to. But I do enjoy it, and there's a lot of heart here. It's just fun and enjoyable, to be honest. There's not one of those things where I go, it's outrightly profound or hilarious or anything like that. It's just a good John Hughes movie. It's well paced. It's an hour and 35 minutes long. I think a lot of movies like this now would stick around a lot longer, like 2 hours plus. And I mean, we've seen it with some of the other movies recently. This sticks around just long enough to tell its tale and get it across. Like I say, there's some nitpicks I have, and I know they're personal to me, I guess because I like to put everything in its logical place and that, and I think this movie kind of makes me go, wait, what? It's funny to see a young Charlie Sheen as a druggie, which is a little foreshadowing, but other than that, it's, like I say, it's a good fun movie. And you know what, if you haven't checked it out already, it's one of those movies that everybody says you should watch before you die and stuff like that. It's certainly not as good as some other movies, but it is one that should be checked out at some point in your list of movies. Especially if you're a fan of John Hughes. This is certainly one of Matthew Broderick's better performances. We like to forget Godzilla doesn't exist. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his generally. And you know what, this is... I guess my other problem with this movie is it's very much of that MTV generation, and I don't know how much of it is trying to, kind of encourage people to goof off. I don't know. I don't know if this was controversial at its time. I don't know. It's 15 rated, so yeah, it's just fun, and there's nothing too offensive about it. That's 1986's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That was tonight's movie. Sorry I haven't given a more concise review of it. It's one of those movies, again, I'm kind of indifferent to. Like I say, I'd give it a 7 out of 10, but there's nothing that stands out about it for me. We'll be back again tomorrow with another movie, another comedy / heartwarming movie. A bit more recent though. But for now, guys, please like and subscribe. Please take care. Look forward to seeing you somewhere down the line. And for now though, this is Sketch, signing out.